Hey everyone. I wanted to respond to a post that I saw in one of my Facebook groups for music teachers, and it's a post that pops up very frequently in one way or another. This one is by Kate, and she said, "My school is looking for a sound system around $1,000 that can be used in our very small gym. She wants multiple mics, also ones that can be worn. I have no experience in this area. Can anyone recommend a sound system that we can purchase?" Joel is very knowledgeable on all of these posts. He says Yamaha StagePas is a good place to start for your basic sound system. It's true. And very portable, and you can add various pieces as you need and can afford. I love that second part because at $1,000, you're not going to get everything that you want at a really nice quality. Start with something and then add to it. But I'm going to make a case in this video that we can do better if we piece something together ourselves. And I want to try to talk us through that. So Michelle then says, call Sweetwater Music and let them help you. Also a really good suggestion. Sweetwater is an online music retailer. They have sales engineers who will talk to you, who will find out your needs, your situation, your budget, and talk you through some stuff. Minor caveat before we start, I always try to go local first. And if you are allowed to buy used through your school, stuff like this gets sold used all the time. There's all sorts of reasons why people would buy things like this and then return them. Maybe they found it wasn't large enough for their situation. Maybe they started a project that they're not doing anymore. But let's assume we're buying new. I'll put links to everything I actually suggest in the description box. The Amazon ones will probably be affiliate links, but I am not affiliated with Sweetwater at all, so those will not be. Let's go to the Yamaha StagePas. I think that's how it's pronounced, by the way. This is $1,100 to start, and it's a 10-channel mixer, okay? 10-channel mixer, it says 680 watts portable PA. Wattage, not necessarily how loud it is, so we're going to go down and look at how loud they are. Scrolling down to find this, the maximum peak SPL, sound pressure level. This is 129 decibels. That's really loud. That's painfully loud. Probably loud enough for the very small gym. They're 10-inch speakers, and those are not bad. I've DJ'd with 10-inch speakers for a very long time. I 100% of the time paired it with a subwoofer. The larger the speaker you have, the more bass you're going to get out of it, right? So a 10-inch speaker is not going to have as much bass as a 12, which is not going to have as much bass as a 15 or an 18. So in a gymnasium indoors, I typically like to go 12-inch speakers, 15s if I'm outdoors. Your mileage may vary, but that's my preference. So Yamaha StagePas, not a bad choice. Like the Fender, like a couple other ones that I'm going to run through really quick, this one clocks in at 1,100 already without speaker stands, so you'd have to put the speakers on the floor, or microphones. This doesn't have any included microphones, let alone multiple microphones and worn microphones. So it's a good place to start. I think it's a little bit small for what we can do with the same amount or even less amount of money. So Fender Passport system, very similar, except a little bit more expensive. Right? Also, it doesn't say the SPL in the bottom. I already looked. But 10-inch speakers. It says 600 watts, which is very similar to the other one. Let's assume it's very similar, right? In the 120, 125, 129 range. So then we have other things like the JBL EON, which I looked at here, $999, right? And comes with a microphone. But these are only 8-inch speakers. That's the same with the Behringer, although that one is cheaper at six. It's $679. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But they all have Bluetooth. This one comes with a handheld mic, 2 speakers. It comes with all the cables you need. But again, 8-inch speakers. If I had $1,000 to put together everything asked for in this, I would start with powered speakers. So I found some Alto Professional TX412 700 watt 12-inch powered speakers. Let's take a look at them. On the back of these, we have XLR inputs. We have Bluetooth, which means if you didn't want to use a mixer with this, you could plug in one microphone, connect to Bluetooth, take this outside with you. You can just use this on its own, and I do. We do an aerial photo every year, and I take this speaker outside, plug a microphone into it for the principal so she can direct people into the spots for their aerial photo, and it has the Bluetooth and I can just take one out and put it on a stick. Speaker stand, sorry. Let's take a look at how loud it gets. It gets to 120 decibels at 1 meter. Once again, very loud. Louder than necessary for most things. And it's a 12-inch speaker, so you're going to get a little bit better bass response than a 10-inch or especially an 8-inch, which might even start to sound thin, like tinny. So $250. Two of these were at $500. The other ones, the Yamaha and the Fender, the JBLs, the Behringers, the Samson, they all had 10 channels, 4 microphone inputs. This one only has 1. So we need a mixing board to go with it. So in my cart, I threw a Mackie Pro FX 10 V3 Plus. That is 10 channels, 4 mic preamps. We have the 5 and 6. We have 7 and 8. And then 9 and 10, which you can see here, is Bluetooth. Right, we have effects on this. All right, we have a 10-channel mixer also coming in at $250. Compare that to the Yamaha, $750 versus $1,100. And we have 2 larger speakers than these at a very similar decibel level, the same 10 channels. But our next step is to worry about cables, microphones, and stands. And cables, microphones, and stands, I'm not going to stay on Sweetwater for. Just because of the price. You can get them cheaper on Amazon. And our goal is to stay under $1,000 right now. So first, let's look at stands. We're at $750 so far. We're going to throw a pair of $50 stands on there. They have a 100-pound capacity, which is fine. Those Alto speakers are 30 pounds each. Next, we're up at $800 so far. XLR cables. Okay, and right here, 25-foot 4-pack. For about $40. Leaves us with $160 to worry about microphones. Now you can just go wired microphones. We've got 4 inputs on there. We have 2 extra microphone cables because 2 of them we're going to be using to run between the mixer and the speakers. We have 2 extra to run microphones. We can run handheld microphones. Or if we want to go wireless, we're going to look at Phenyx Pro. Now listen. In my school, we use Shure for our handheld mics. Now, for our theater mics, I use these. I use the Phenyx Pro, and I've been surprised at how nice they are and how well they hold up. We've used them 2 years in a row now. We haven't had any packs fail on us, and we haven't had any dropouts or static. I would replace the headsets eventually, and we're actually doing that this year, is replacing the headsets for better headsets. One of the biggest problems with these is that they just move around so much that the kids love to move them and we get inconsistent sound. I want ones that are a little bit stiffer. Anyway, any extra money you have, remember we're at $840. If you can get to $12, spend it on the wireless mics. Okay, get a better microphone system. I'm going to suggest this one at $340. Why this one? It gives you 2 handhelds, gives you 2 body packs, including lavs and headset mics. And it's frequency agile. You can change the frequency 4 times 40 frequencies. That means 4 groups of 40 selections each. I use these ones, the $199 ones that are fixed frequency. You can't change the frequency on them, which means you might end up with some interference one day, and you won't have any choice but to just replace the microphone because you can't change the frequency of the microphone. But I use these for karaoke. I've used them for years for karaoke, and they have been rock solid. Never had interference in the Buffalo, New York area. They've been dropped multiple times. One of them stopped working after being dropped. They were $30 to replace. They're heavy. They're metal. And they're great for $199. Now, we have $160 to work with. So right here, right next to it, this Phenyx Pro dual mic setup gives us a handheld, gives us a body pack, gives us multiple frequencies in the UHF band. Okay, 328 feet range. This is what I would get with that $160 left. That brings us to a little bit less, before tax of course, than $1,000. So that $1,000, once again, is 2 Alto TX 412s, 1 Mackie Pro FX 10 V3 Plus, and once again, I'll put links to all of this in the description, and then 2 Rockville stands, 4 XLR cables, and this Phenyx Pro frequency agile UHF system with a handheld and a body pack for less than $1,000. All right, I hope this has been helpful. I hope I didn't ramble on too much or was confusing. If you have any questions, email me, scott@amplifierclassroom.com. And good luck. Email me your exact situation. Maybe I'll just make videos based on your exact situations. This is what I would do with $1,000. And then just like Joel said, I would then next year look at what part of this system I want to get working better and how I can upgrade that. All right. Have a great year, everyone. Have a great rest of your November and good luck coming up in December. I need it, and I'm sure you need it too. Good night. Cheers.